My job as a parent is to provide for the needs of my kids, the needs that they cannot meet themselves. You know, providing food, providing a safe place.
Hey guys, what you doing? It's TheKillerDoll here, and truly, the family channels on YouTube.com are wild and out at this point. So in my recent video regarding Micah Stauffer and their whole adoption situation, I had somebody comment saying that I should really look into the 8 passengers. Shout out to you for making me look this up. I hate it. So I started looking them up through Twitter, and here we are, so let's just get into it, shall we? 8 Passengers is a YouTube channel that at the time of filming this has 2.47 million subscribers on YouTube, and they're, you guessed it, another family channel on YouTube that consists of 6 kids and the parents, Kevin and Ruby Frank, that's been called out for doing some super questionable shit. And when I say super questionable, I mean I really don't know how to form what I'm feeling from seeing this shit into words. From looking on Twitter, a lot of people suggested looking at the 8 Passengers Confused account on TikTok, which displays several clips from the 8 Passengers that include a lot of things that give me just red flags. Beyond the obvious, it's a family YouTube channel profiting off of their children. So we're just gonna go over a few videos that have been posted on this TikTok because it's really worrying to see some of the stuff that's happened just from the few clips that I watched, and I feel like people should probably see this shit. Then we're going to be going over one of the kids' comments on this situation, because yes, the kids decided to comment on this, and frankly, it's not good. And then we're going to talk about Ruby and Kevin's little explanation for some of the shit that's been going on. Some people have called it an apology. I don't think it's an apology at all, so let's just go over it, because apparently the stuff you're about to see is defendable. So for the first video you're going to be seeing, just for context, Chad pulled a prank on his younger brother, and that made him lose the privilege of sleeping in his bedroom and on his bed. Because that is totally normal and just well-adjusted, right? And people were having a debate on how long the punishment actually was. Some people thought it was 8 weeks, and some people thought it was 7 months. Again, totally normal and well-adjusted. And then there's this beautiful clip.
Oh,
if you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
So, I'm gonna be honest, I am an only child. I did not get very lucky in the whole big family ordeal, you could say. However, both of my parents have siblings, and both of my parents and their siblings pulled pranks on each other, because that's normal. But neither of them lost their fucking bedrooms because they pulled a prank on their sibling. I'm really just trying to wrap my head around what constitutes for losing your bedroom and losing your bed, and if that's a privilege or not, which it doesn't sound like it should be. But like, mixed with the rest of the clips that are like shown from this family, things aren't looking good at all for them, to be completely honest. Especially with this next clip in mind, because apparently if you are 5 to 6 years old and cannot make yourself lunch, you're going hungry.
I just got a text message from Eve's teacher, and she said that Eve did not pack a lunch today, and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children, because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch, and it would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with a lunch. But I responded and just said Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry, and hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
So during this first part, Ruby flat out says that this happens often where her kids don't have a lunch and teachers call to ask her to bring one in for them because they don't want their students going hungry, obviously. Because also, statistically speaking, it does have an effect on how they learn. But you know, apparently a tiny, tiny child is responsible for making and bringing her own lunch to school every day. And Ruby really had to add that she hopes that nobody gives her kid any food and that her kid basically goes hungry throughout the day. Which leads me to wonder where I'm supposed to begin with this, because it's not good. First of all, why are you relying on an elementary school student to make and pack their own lunch every day? Genuinely, I'm asking that question. Because in another video, you bring up that it is your job as a mother to provide the needs for your child that they cannot provide for themselves.
Here's my take on it. My job as a parent is to provide for the needs of my kids, the needs that they cannot meet themselves. You know, providing food, providing a safe place. Kids have a really hard time providing their own safe space. That is my responsibility. Shelter, clothing.
Side note, I love how she doesn't mention love and nurturing because, as we learned from Harlow's wire experiment, that's pretty fucking important. But back to my point. You specifically mentioned that food is something you need to provide for your children, and clearly, you're not doing that here. This will also be a little bit awkward later on when we realize that you treat food as a privilege, but that's for later. Like from my experience, both of my parents work, both of them have jobs. My dad works a night shift, so he kind of comes home and passes out in the morning, and my mom works a day shift because normal business. But I would always have a lunch going to school with me. Either it was packed or I'd order from the cafeteria at school, and I would always have that provided for me because of my parents. Because what I'm trying to get at here, Ruby, is I could not provide for myself at that age. I don't think my parents would trust me in the kitchen at that age, let alone making my own lunch. I would probably just pack Doritos and like a fucking Ensure and call it a day. Food pyramid, never heard of her. And again, it really bothers me that she has to add that dig at the end being like, well, I hope nobody gives her food. I hope nobody gives her like any of their lunch or anything like that. I honestly can't imagine wanting kids to not have empathy for your kid or teachers having empathy for her because I don't know, that just really grosses me out. I know me and my friends have given up part of our food if that meant that another kid really didn't have to go hungry or anything like that growing up. Hell, I remember in high school we went on a field trip to the Indiana Dunes and I only had a box of Cheerios because I stupidly forgot to get a lunch the night before, and I had people offering to give me part of their food if I was hungry. Kids and people do this in general because they have empathy. I'm sorry you lack that apparently, Ruby. But yeah, overall, I can't imagine like not wanting people to have empathy or compassion for another person, but who knows, I guess I'm the minority here. Maybe I'm the fucked up one for hoping people would be like that. This also is not her only time using food as a privilege and basically saying that her kids can definitely go without. Remember how I said we'd talk about this later? It's later.
Eat. They're gonna think you're torturing him. Stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only gonna say it one more time, and then you're gonna lose the privilege to eat dinner.
First of all, I just want to point out that she's getting mad at them for roughhousing on camera because it looks bad. And I'm not here to critique them on roughhousing because honestly, I get it. I've grown up with all male cousins on both sides of my family. Trust me, I understand roughhousing. You're not pulling a Daddy 05 and the kids aren't slapping each other as a fucking contest. There is clearly a big difference between the two. But you literally just said that they would lose the privilege of eating dinner if they don't stop. Eating dinner is a privilege. Okay, ma'am, can you please just tell me how this makes any sense? Because I personally do not get it. Because I don't understand how dinner, you know, the means of providing a meal for your child, which you said is your job as a mother, is a privilege. Xbox and PlayStation, that's definitely a privilege. Being able to go out and do stuff with your friends, that's also a privilege. Just to know, she does threaten that a lot, and I mean in the sense of you didn't do your homework, you're not going out then kind of thing. You know, a normal parenting thing. Genuinely, somebody please explain to me what's normal about this kind of punishment.
Do you want to go over your grades?
No, you can.
Okay, so it means that you can't have your phone for the summer. You okay?
Like, I genuinely understand taking your kid's phone away for them for a bit. That happened to me quite a bit growing up, and I am sure that happened to a lot of people that are also in the same age group as me because we kind of grew up around the time where phones were becoming a bigger thing. But a whole summer without your phone, when, let's be honest, this is probably the kid's one way of interacting with people within his social group and just overall communicating with people outside of his family. I know personally that's how I communicate with all my friends at school and all my friends back home whenever I'm either in Colorado for school or in Illinois at home for the summer. So to me, losing your phone for a whole summer is fucking ridiculous. Like, you can no longer keep in touch with your friends because of a single bad grade. By the way, good luck to him socializing with anyone in general because the mom exposed that he has no friends because that's totally normal.
Feel about not having any friends?
Sucks, but I don't feel safe or accepted in any friend groups, so.
That's really vulnerable of you to say that on camera because you don't.
This isn't normal. This genuinely is not normal. This is not how people parent in 2020. You can't convince me of that. This isn't a normal family. This isn't normal punishments. I don't know why people think this is okay. Now, as I mentioned, I got these clips from a TikTok account called 8 Passengers Confused. They have a lot more clips than the ones I'm showing, but these are the ones that kind of stuck out to me and I feel like do need to be brought up a little bit more so than some of the others. They're all bad, but these ones really raise the neck hairs on me. There's a lot more clips of Ruby doing questionable shit to her kids. By the way, I'm only really mentioning Ruby in this because she's the one primarily involved. Kevin's not really seen in a lot of these clips doing anything. He is still complicit because he's the parent. However, I have been saying Ruby a lot, but just so you know, the husband's also to blame. Ruby's just the one primarily on camera. But yeah, if you want to see a lot of the things that have also happened, I highly recommend checking out the 8 Passengers Confused TikTok account. It's a little weird to see all the shit that happens, but I feel like people do need to see it to realize that this isn't normal. Now, with social media basically going off on all these people, the oldest daughter, Shari, decided to take to Instagram to comment on all of this. It's not good. I don't know why you'd think it would be. It's not. It's really not.
To all the TikTokers, 13-year-old girls and a 40-ish-old man who wants to adopt us, no thanks, creepy guy.
Ah yes, we love minimizing people who are clearly calling out questionable shit they see on the internet. That's totally normal and not defensive at all.
You don't like us because of the genuinely questionable things we put online? You must be a child or a creepy old guy who have no idea who we are yet are making these claims. Get a life. To all our dedicated fans who are truly concerned, I thank you for your support, but this is ridiculous. A 30-second clip out of a 20-minute video out of a single day is not evidence for abuse. You have no idea what real abuse is.
Ah yes, the good old "you don't know what you're talking about" excuse. Genuinely, this reminds me of all the comments that I got on my Micah Stauffer video that were from, obviously, her fucking Karen fans, who really just wasted my time and kept commenting that you're not a parent, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't have kids so you don't have a say, and all that dumb shit. It doesn't take being in a similar situation to realize that something is questionable and criticize it. How stupid would that be? Shari, people are responding to what they've seen online, what your mother and father have made publicly available for people to see online. This isn't somebody seeing your mom do something in public and then stepping in. This is stuff that she has put online to profit off of you guys from. And seeing a kid lose the right to sleep on his bed and sleep in his bedroom because he pulled a prank, as well as being threatened to lose dinner privileges, is genuinely concerning. To see a mother flat out say that she hopes people do not give her kid food when she was unable to bring her lunch is worrying. Losing a phone for a full summer because of one single bad grade is also ridiculous. These are all things that your mother has made available for people to publicly see online, and when you become a public figure, you are then going to deal with criticism because people are worried, people think what you're doing is bad, people think the situations are scary, people think what's going on is wrong, and more. Now, I will admit sometimes these things are blown out of proportion. However, I really don't think so for this case because there are clearly multiple clips of this stuff going on. As it is, your parents have clearly exploited your childhood and your lives in general for views and profit. I'm talking about shaving to telling your siblings they have to earn using the parents' bathroom.
And Julie has been asking all summer if she can shave her legs and armpits, and I never said that. I think your armpits need to be shaved more than your legs do.
When you start speaking, when you start getting BO.
I don't know if I'm gonna let you just come in my room and use it. Maybe for a special reward. Like maybe if you do your work on your respect charts for a whole week, then at the end of the week, you can earn a turn on the bidet. And you can use that turn whenever you feel like it. Because you earn...
What if we need to go for that entire week?
No, just one time.
What if we really need to go potty and everybody is using the bathrooms?
By the way, imagine having your own bathroom. Wild. But a lot of these clips are concerning because it revolves around your child not being able to eat and not being able to be provided food, which, as your mom says, is something she should be doing as a mother. Now, apparently Shari said she was going to be making a video on this situation. It's been days since this came out. I don't think it's going to happen at this point, but if she does decide to post it after this video goes up, there's a few things I want to address which will probably be involved in it, because this could go one of two ways, to be honest. The first route they could go is the route of Daddy05, where they say that all this is fake, all of it is staged, this isn't their real life. Which is why I'm wondering why you would want to exaggerate this shit for people to see online. Why would you want to make people think you use dinner and food overall as a privilege? Why would you want people to think that you took away your kid's bedroom and bed privilege and made him sleep anywhere else but there because of a prank? Do you really want that kind of attention? Because I really don't think you do. However, the second option is that they say that we don't know the full story, as Shari has already said on her Instagram, which at the end of the day still does not justify using dinner as a privilege and taking away your kid's bedroom for pulling a prank. That is still questionable, and that is still super weird. Now, as time has went on, Ruby and Kevin have apparently made an apology for the bed situation, and I really want to talk about that. If you could even call it that. It was an apology posted onto their Instagram story where they excused their actions in those previous videos. Which, by the way, because the Instagram story is no longer available, I had to go on to Drama Investigator's video to get the apologies. The link's going to be up above for you guys to check out their video. Like I said, I just needed the apology clips, so I got them from there. If you want to check out their video, go ahead and do it. But let's just see what the parents have to say regarding all of this shit.
So today's video we posted about, I didn't know Chad was going to start talking and explain what some of the outcomes of his behaviors have been, and he did. And I told him, I said, you know, we can cut that out, we can edit it if you want. And he's like, no. He's like, it's fine. I'm totally fine having it in. I was like, all right, that's great. So I didn't anticipate all the upset. However, listening to all of your comments and your feedback and your feelings around things, it totally makes sense to me why you're angry and why you're upset.
First of all, I just want to cut in here really quick and say, why would you want this to be public for people to see? Like, how could you not anticipate that people who aren't brainwashed and think the same way as you do, that they wouldn't be mad about you literally taking away your kid's bed? This shouldn't be made apparent to you through people commenting on your video. You're like, what, a 30, 40 grown-ass adult in comparison to me? You know, grown-ass adult that should know better than to not treat sleeping in your own bed as a fucking privilege.
Yeah, I mean, we totally understand how it must look from your perspective, but so long before we started YouTube, there were a lot of behavioral and emotional challenges that we were dealing with our kids. And we've been consulting with mental health and emotional health professionals for years. And the things that we show and share and the things that many of you are criticizing and calling are actually things that mental health professionals have counseled us to do.
We've been consulting with mental and emotional health professionals for years, and what we fear and y'all don't like is what people have told us to do.
Oh, I see the point now, you know. It's like how it was for me back when I was in high school going to outpatient, and my therapist just straight up told my mom,
Your daughter's literally cutting herself and is suicidal, so the best cure for that is to take away her bed and then send her out into the wilderness for a bit. That always helps.
yeah, no, that doesn't sound quite right, does it? We clearly don't know what happens behind closed doors, and I am willing to admit that. However, a doctor suggesting to take away a kid's bed amongst all the other weird and worrying punishments that have occurred in these clips, that's fucking ridiculous. But as I have no doubt, I know there will be comments saying that I'm not a parent, so I clearly can't understand. To which I have to say is yes, I am definitely not a parent. I do not plan on becoming a parent in any time soon. I am still a young adult, and I would rather enjoy life, thank you. But you can't tell me that these clips aren't weird and suspicious. Who uses food as a privilege, given what she has said about providing for her kids? Who takes away a bed because of a prank? Clearly not any normal adjusted person. Overall, all I can say about this is that while, again, I believe that family channels exploit their children for views and money, this is a very worrying and suspicious case because of all the weird and, honestly, worrying punishments that this family puts in place on their kids. And it's not because I'm a parent, because clearly I'm not. It's because I know that this isn't normal. And while I definitely understand that parents have different methods of disciplining their kids, or not disciplining their kids for that matter, using food as a privilege, making your kids earn using a bathroom despite all the other bathrooms being full in the house, as well as literally taking away your kid's bed because he pulled a stupid prank on his younger brother, are all very weird and very worrying practices. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Like I said, everything that I've seen from this channel regarding the clips from the 8 Passengers Confused TikTok account have all been like very worrying, if not hair on the back of your neck raising worrying. Like, the weird punishments are definitely one thing, like doing push-ups for leaving your socks in the yard, but the whole your dinner is a privilege thing does not sit right with me at all. But that's just my overall thoughts on all of that. But yeah, from all the weird clips that have surfaced to Shari trying to defend her family's actions, saying we don't know the full story. Side note, I'm pretty sure when you have multiple 30-second clips that vary from day to day, it makes it a little bit more, you know, understandable to be worried. And then you have Kevin and Ruby basically saying that the mental health professionals told them to do it. What do you guys think about this? It's another family channel that's done some pretty questionable shit, and I want to know what you guys think about it because I don't know how to necessarily word how I feel. It's a mix of like anger and worry and disgust because, again, who treats food like a privilege? And I'm also very confused because, like, is this a new normal in 2020 for parenting? Like, personally, that's not how I was raised. And this parenting, as I mentioned, looks a little bit questionable and a little bit worrisome, so like, what's up? But yeah, hopefully this is going to be the last time that we talk about a family channel for quite some time. I've been promising everybody that follows me on Twitter a lot funner of a video to come out soon because I have a really fun idea that I really wanted to do, but I haven't gotten to do it because all the family channels are just fucking acting out at once. But I'm aiming for that lighthearted one to be next week because it would just soothe my brain at this point. Side note, if you want a little hint as to what it's gonna be, we're gonna be doing shots while looking at some dumb shit, so get ready for that. But until the next video, which again, I hope is gonna be the lighthearted one, I will see you guys later. Bye!